All right, we're going to record this session. Go ahead.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We got the agenda up there. I just wanted to hit on really quick. We did have some staffing changes within our bureau. As some of you know, we had been looking for a new bureau chief, which we I shouldn't say finally, but we finally got. Chris Hale is now our bureau chief. Some other changes that happened, if you knew or got to work with Lahia from certifications, she has now taken on the interim role of section chief for services. She has taken over for Julia Venten, who is no longer with the bureau. And then, excuse me, and then myself. So as you guys know, I was I still am the training center compliance person. However, I am now in the interim role of program manager for all the things for certification, for training centers, and for base hospitals. Which means I have 3 subordinates under me. But yeah, our team will handle everything for your certifications, all your base hospital needs, and still all of the training center questions that you might have. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions on anything. I'll go ahead and just ask right there. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about those staffing changes? I just want to make sure everybody was up to date on what was happening there. Nope. Great. We'll move on to the recertification application and process. So really quick, let me throw this out there. If you have current national registry, none of this applies to you. The easiest way to recertify your state is if you have a current national registry. So nothing has changed on that end. We did have some changes. If you guys remember before, when you did your recertification for Arizona, you would just select the attestation button, which indicated you had done all of your continuing education for recertification. And we'll just call it about a month ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, a small change happened to where in order to select that button, you needed to actually upload all of your CEs or a listing of the CEs that you had performed. And we would verify those CEs and then approve or ask you for more information about your continuing education. That process caused a little bit of debate. And why that debate goes on, we actually switched it back to the original process. So currently it is just the attestation. As of right now, there's nothing to upload. It's back to the original form to where you just hit the attestation and then carry on with your approval or request for more information. Now, the caveat to that, please don't get comfortable with just the attestation button. It is possible, I'm not saying 100%, but it is possible that an upload version will be coming out. I don't want to say soon, but could be coming back to where you would have to upload things. However, this time when we make a change, we'll send out a little bit better communication on the date that it's happening, requirements, all the things that you would need to do to what you would need to do to upload. So just to reiterate, we currently reversed back to the original, just the attestation. So if any of your people have questions on that, or they thought they had to upload something and they don't find the upload button, that's because it is not there, just the attestation once again. So does anybody have any questions on our current recertification process for the state of Arizona? No? Well, that went easier than I thought, so cool. All right, moving right along. Your 10-day rule. I know we talked about this before as far as you have 10 days to request approval for a course. Now, we already went through that. We're still struggling a little bit with people not really meeting that 10-day rule, But this particular 10-day rule has to do with your actual program. So if you change a medical director, if you change a program director, if you change an address, add an address location, you need to let us know 10 days from the time of the change. We need to know that you've changed something. The reason that this came up is, obviously you guys know, I come in and I do your audits or your inspections. And one of the things that I do is make sure that your rosters are correct and that you have the correct medical director, correct location. It is about 50% of the time your rosters and medical directors are not correct in our system. And then when I ask, when did those changes happen? The typical response is, oh, last year, or 7-8 months ago. So we need to kind of stay on top of that. It's very important that your rosters are correct and that we have the appropriate information. The other thing, just to hit on with your rosters, this goes out to mostly, we'll just call them fire departments or even private sector providers. Please understand that you have a provider that has all of your employees in it, which is separate from your training center's account, right? There's been a couple programs that put all of their employees under the training center, which then it looks like you have 100 instructors, right? And we all know, I don't think anybody has 100 instructors. So just be careful if you have admin rights to add people to a roster, that you're not adding your employees to the training center side. Make sure that they are on the appropriate provider side. And like I said, if you make any changes to your program, it's a 10-day notice. The other thing is, if you do change program directors, please let us know as soon as possible, because there's a lot that goes behind the scenes in getting a program director up to speed on what their new role is, as far as requesting courses, changing it with National Registry, all of those little things that go along with being a program director. So as far as that is concerned, does anybody have any questions on that? All right. You guys are easy this morning. You have probably seen my true cost survey. I don't know if I haven't checked it in a minute just to see how many people have been responding. If you have not responded to that true cost survey, please do your best to fill it out. It's not super lengthy, but what that, I'm gathering that data to help support our strategic plan, so we can see if we do have additional funds come in to get out to the training programs, as far as grants or helping you out, put on a program, those sorts of things. We can see what the actual cost is of putting on a program. I'm actually working with our prevention section right now on some grant projects. So some of that money, if we understand how much a true cost, what does it actually cost to put on a EMT or paramedic EMR program, maybe we can help with that. I emphasize maybe, because we're still looking at all the data, but that would really help us out. And when I sent that survey out, I also sent an extra sheet just so you understand, not that you wouldn't understand, but just kind of defining what true cost actually is. And a lot of that is, it's not just, how much your students pay, but it's actually what you guys do. How much does it cost to keep the lights on? How much does it cost for books? How much does it cost for your instructors? All the things, the total cost of an actual program. And there you go. That's kind of a little bit outlined so you understand what I'm actually looking for. So if you haven't filled that out yet, it would greatly appreciate it, because it would help me help our bureau with the long-term strategic planning of our training centers. So like I said, if you haven't filled that out yet, please do so. Does anybody have any questions on that particular survey? Oh.
I don't have a question on the survey, but did you have a link where programs could put staffing changes on a worksheet or something?
No, but I can create one.
Okay.
We have a link for all the program director information.
That's
So they
different. Okay.
Yeah, that's a different one. But yeah, I could create something so when somebody makes a change, they could just send it in a form. For sure, we could do that. Maybe that'll be easier when people make changes. Like I said, if there's no questions on that, this was a down and dirty meeting, so I like it. Our next meeting will be in April. I'll do the same thing and send out the actual link. Seems like that was better for people. I'll just send an invite out so you can drop it into your calendar and we can be here. And like always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, or see trending issues within our training centers, but now since I'm interim over all of it, if you have any questions about your base hospitals or certifications or your training centers, please let me know. Yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and I won't keep you too long. If you guys don't have any questions about anything, right now I'll open up the floor. If you have questions about anything that I can try to answer, please let me know now. If you don't have any questions, I will let you carry on with your morning. All righty, I don't hear any questions, and just as normal, everything is recorded, and so if you miss something or you want to go back and listen to my voice for whatever reason, all of the videos are right here on will be posted on the website. So we'll have our newsletter, and it will have a video recording in case you want to show the video to someone else that wasn't able to make it. You can always direct it to here. So once we're done, video will be sent to us. We'll get it uploaded as quickly as possible. So on that note, I appreciate everybody's attendance and hope you enjoy your morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.